just now realizing that there may be some component of our show missing. So I'm going to try to fix that on the fly. But nonetheless, we have with us this morning the one, the only Garren Parkins, all the way from Kingsport, Tennessee in the USA. And Garren, would you do us the honor of introducing yourself? Tell us who you are and what you're about.
Yeah, Juma, thank you so much for having me on the show today. I've been watching you for a while now. So just like when you asked, I was like, I've been waiting on this moment for weeks. So, Garren Parkins, I'm the founder and CEO of DeskRig. DeskRig is a virtual presence company. Our focus is finding and delivering powerful, practical solutions to the virtual workforce of the future. Individuals and businesses that are looking to one-up their virtual presence and ultimately differentiate themselves from competitors on video calls, because we're all working in this space now. And instead of commuting to work in a car, you commute to work on your computer and in virtual meetings. And so why not show up and be able to make it a show?
Yeah, most definitely. I've been checking your stuff out. And but first of all, today you are staying true. You have the blue on. That seems to be a thing, Garren. So yeah. in terms of identity wise, you're pretty consistent with that. And of course, your lower third says it as well, which is interesting. Let me just jump across to LinkedIn here. Andrew is saying hi, Garren, across on LinkedIn. Thank you, Andrew, for jumping on with us today. All right, so founder and CEO of DeskRig. So you started the business, or at least, guys, it was around last year. It was during the pandemic, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. So I was working for a B2B e-commerce software company called Verto Commerce, which super awesome company, started by a bunch of Russian expatriates that live in LA. And I was selling to an audience of enterprise software buyers all over the world because we had a very enterprise-focused product that was built for global ecosystems of e-commerce. Anyways, I was failing in the beginning. It was really hard to differentiate myself against Salesforce, Magento, Shopify, all these big Goliaths of the industry. And ultimately what I realized is nobody wants to buy $1 million software product from a guy in his basement, right? Like, it's shocker, $1 million companies want to buy from $1 million companies. So all I had to do, or what I thought, is show up looking like $1 million company. And all of a sudden we started getting a lot more traction, started getting some wins. I started having personal success in the virtual selling space. And so that was in 2017. And 18. And when coronavirus came around, it honestly seemed like it was divine that I had been working in this space and figured out a solution that now I knew hundreds of thousands of people all over the world were going to need to learn how to use these techniques to achieve the same type of success virtually. So yeah, that's kind of how the business got started.
Okay, so it really wasn't forced. It was just a brilliantly timed idea.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
Yeah, because I hear a lot of stories. The last couple of people I had on with me to talk really had some stories of either getting laid off or getting fired and having to start the business. And I was kind of wondering, what went on there? And well, it's clear that you kind of just is like divine. It kind of intersected with something you were already doing.
That's right. That's right. And and the crazy thing is, it's like you look at my past even further. It's like I've loved video for years. I have a background, a degree in digital media. So I was shooting videos for years. And then it seemed like sales and video started to merge into my life. And then all of a sudden coronavirus came around and it was like, wow, this is how, this is a good origin story.
Yeah, so I hate Martin Barnes on LinkedIn. He's saying good evening from the UK. It is 6 hours ahead, 6 or 5 hours ahead in the UK, and happy to have Martin on with us.
Yeah.
Is my interwebs giving trouble again? No, internet, please behave, internet. It gave so much trouble on Thursday. I hope it's not happening again today. All right, so let's just hope that this internet is not going crazy today. And let's hope that it's continuing to run. I'm not seeing it on LinkedIn. And I think we may have just... Are you still hearing me, right, Garren?
Yes. Yeah, I still hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, all right.
We're good.
Let's just make sure that it's
yeah, if something happens too, I can always message you on LinkedIn and let you know if I get cut off from you. I'll give you a heads up.
All right, no worries. All right, so when you transitioned and you started this company, were you at all concerned or afraid, or was there any trepidation at all?
Understatement. It's been a lot. Starting a business is hard. I think starting a business is hard, number one, and then starting a business that nobody's ever heard of, what the solution even is. There's there wasn't really even any competitors out there to talk about and say, hey, we're like these guys, or we're like these guys. And especially in the beginning, trying to get people to spend thousands of dollars, frankly, on a new office setup, and they're like, oh, I've already got a camera. I've already got lights. I've already got a microphone. And you're like, well, I understand that you have some things, and so it was always in the beginning a lot of convincing to say, hey, give this a shot. We know it will have the return on investment. And even though you already have that, some of these equipments, you don't have the ones that work as a holistic ecosystem for you. So yes, lots of challenges that have come and we're still seeing them, frankly. So, we're still getting off the ground. We're only really a year behind. I've had co-founders and lost co-founders, and had sales guys and lost sales guys. There's people coming that have gone in a year. And so it's tough starting a business. That's how I'll say it. I could spend this entire show telling you stories about entrepreneurship, struggles and heartache. But that's we're past that. So let's leave it in the past.
Yeah. I know that. I mean, I feel you 100%. My business has been around for a while, and while it's doing well and has done well for the past 11 plus years, you still have those moments where you're like, oh, is this going to work? Is it not going to work? And so it's a regular thing. It's inside your heart. It kind of like it fluctuates inside your heart a little bit.
Yeah, it's like digging for mine, like in a mine for diamonds, and you just dig and you dig and you've dug and you've dug, and then like finally you're like, you look at your friends, you're like, should we give up? Yeah. And then one guy like leans up against the wall and like cracks through a paper thin wall, and like diamonds just fall out of it. You're like, no, yes. So we're still waiting on that moment. To happen, but I've got a lot of gas in the tank to keep digging. And I don't know what your take is on this, but I think really the key to entrepreneurship, it's a game of attrition, right? Yeah. It's about who can stay in the game the longest. It's perseverance that ultimately separates the winners from the losers in entrepreneurship. Because I think a lot of people hop into new technologies and new ideas, and they have all this excitement and all this enthusiasm. And then when it doesn't go like unicorn status in a couple months, everybody's like, oh, we're going to move on to the next thing, Yeah. And so I think to keep that perseverance, the secret ingredient is passion. You have to love the thing that you're going to do. You have to want to be doing that, whether this becomes a business or not. So in my case, if this doesn't work out, like a desk rig doesn't blow up, if we don't get ultimately, hit our goals, and I have to, or I'm forced to go find a job, I'm still going to be doing virtual selling. I'm still going to be building my personal desk rig at home and enjoying tinkering with the creative outlet that I have in building my desk. And I think it's a lot like people who tune cars, right? I treat my desk a lot like those types of people. So I think that's really what it's about is perseverance. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I do think so. I think there's a few things that are involved in that. Well, I'm not big on passion, even though it's required, because who was it? It was Steve Jobs that said, you need passion because it's very, very difficult, and any rational person would give up without passion.
Yes.
Yeah. He said that. I've never been big on telling people to lean into passion. I've always been big on telling people to lean into purpose. Like, what's the reason? What's the whole point of this thing? And why are you doing it? Was it? I mean, you need passion, so you need to like the thing you're doing, because the less you like it, the more difficult it's going to be to do.
Right. But I think, do you think that purpose drives passion? Right. That's kind of like the base ingredient. Without purpose, it's kind of hard to derive passion.
Yeah. I do. And let me characterize that for you. So the company I used to work for before I started my business is a software company out of my country in Trinidad and Tobago, and it's called Telios. It's the best company I ever worked for, and I'm allowed to say it's the best company in the world because I think that my company is also the best company in the world, and I've worked at both places, so I can say that. The thing I loved about Telios is that they had a philosophy, and they still do, where the thing that they did itself didn't really matter. So the leader, the CEO, always used to tell us that it doesn't matter if they had a gas station or they had a pharmacy, they would still have the same kind of outlook, purpose, and values. And I think you could just rig could be done tomorrow. My business could be done tomorrow. But the things that I want to build in terms of providing for families, allowing for long-term relationships between clients and their customers and things like that will continue to go on. So we could do something else. There's a kind of a fast street food that we have in Trinidad and Tobago called Doubles. If we were to go and sell that food, we would still be relate doubles, or it's not the same value. So like Dash Rig is not really the name. Dash Rig is you. It's like it's built on your heart. So once you have that purpose, and it does drive it. The purpose does in fact drive the passion. So I think that comes first in my mind.
Yep. No, 100% agree with you. I appreciate that explanation because I 100% agree with that. Values are extremely important. Are you familiar with the book Tribal Leadership?
No, I'm not. I'm getting out of my non-reading rut. I've actually read like 4 books within the last few months. I hadn't bought a book prior to that in the last decade. So I'm now just getting back in. So that may be one I might want to get. What do you call it?
You should definitely check it out. I'll send you a link. It's called Tribal Leadership, but it's really just all about the stages, like the kind of the way company cultures drive the performance of that company. And at the base of all of the book, it comes down to high performing business culture is found. The foundation of that is purpose. It's values.
Yes. Yeah.
It is a mission driven, organization. I did a video on this a while ago. It was kind of buzzing around LinkedIn. A couple other people also did some things around it, but really just like knowing what you're fighting for or against. Is ultimately because it helps people get across the squabbles of it's like who's going to get the promotion or whatever it is. It's like, you know what? Don't worry about it. Like as long as we're still moving towards this goal, I'm happy with this. So I think it helps people move away from their selfishness.
Yeah. Most definitely. And you can have just. I mean, it's interesting how this discussion is going. I didn't plan for this, but just yesterday I was talking to my sister who also runs a business, and she was telling me about another business that she was consulting for many years ago that actually had a massive split recently, and the massive split was because of the leader, because he essentially did not listen to anyone, and his values were that it's almost like he wanted to be the one who made all the decisions, even though the business was kind of forcing on the barriers to expand, but everything was locked into him, and he couldn't delegate, and he can allow people to take things up and carry the thing in the business, and he was kind of sneaky, and there are all sorts of different factors. So the business took off because the model was good, but then the leadership crashed the business because of how he dealt with people, and I think that's so very important. Is like how are you standing up as a leader? What are your values? And the business doesn't have to be $1 billion business. It could be a local business serving your own community, but right. It could really have an impact if you do it the right way.
Completely agree. Agree.
Yeah.
It's a good topic. We could probably spend a whole podcast live session talking about values and value-driven company cultures and leaders and how that makes a difference.
Yeah. I mean, I don't often talk about this. It's not something, I focus on content creation, but I mean, I could talk about that for hours. I have lots of experiences, even with building partnerships. Some people don't believe in partnerships. Some people have been burnt. You yourself said you lost a co-founder, but I've successfully built a business with a co-founder, and we have some very strong principles inside it that keep us going. And even to talk about that and to share some of those things, that will come up eventually, But today is about you, not about me. Let me just okay. Let me get back on it. So I have a bone to pick with you, right?
All right.
So none of your 1 minute one-up videos are 1 minute. Why is that? Can you tell us about it? Explain to the people what those things are, and why you named it that, and then how come it's not like that. So explain to them what it is. People might not be familiar.
Yeah. So 1 minute, one up. In the beginning of my content creation journey, one thing that I think that a lot of content creators, in my opinion, don't do is make this idea of episodal content, this series where there's a predictable kind of brand that you're going to be seeing. And I think that that's really a miss, honestly, in a lot of new content creators, is they don't really think through that strategy. And so when I came into the game, I wanted to try that up front. And in hindsight, I would have done things differently than a little bit, of course, but ultimately my rebuttal to that question is always the same thing. It is, you can get the value of that video within 1 minute. It doesn't have to be 1 minute, right? So watch it for 1 minute and you'll get a +1, right? Also, the brand has like a vibe of gaming. So I kind of like intermingle. 1 minute, one up was kind of meant to be, it's all the things that I do know and love all in one series. And now that it's kind of evolved, the last video I did, you may have noticed, was closer to a minute. The intro and outro take up like 30, 40 seconds sometimes. So I'm trying to get the content distilled down to 1 minute. So I am working on that. And I promise for you, the next one will be 1 minute plus the intro and outros that I do. But no, that's very valid. And ultimately, I'm trying to move that direction. But I think a lot of people get into this and worry that they're not going to have enough to say. And that's one of the reasons I wanted to be 1 minute, one up, because I thought, hey, if I'm going to be consistent with this, I have to build a framework that's going to work for me. And so 1 minute, 60 seconds is about 150 words. So I would start writing, 150 words would get done, and I'm like, oh, I got to do more here. And so then I just leaned into it, and I thought, that will be a talking point for somebody to ask me about, and I can give you the answer of, you'll get the value in a minute. So I hope that's adequate response.
Yeah, that's a good response. You could get the value in 1 minute, but there's other stuff there too if you wanna do that. I like your intro. What's up with that music? Where did that clip come from? That's a sample or something?
Well, I've done different. I basically just pick a song. Okay, every video, I'm just like, what song do I like? Am I jiving to today? What's like making me feel good, or what's the general feel of the video? So I always just play something and do my walk in, and then cut it off and be like, and say something real quick. And so it's different, but I have been, and I want to plug these people because they're incredible. Scary Pockets is a cover band, and they cover like all your favorite songs, all the big, like from, and so they're all cover songs of popular music, but it's a cover band. So I sometimes I worry about, like, is it DMCA, like getting, but I'm so small right now. It's like, I haven't worried too much about it at this point in time. I probably should start thinking about it as I'm growing, and find some artists that I kind of partner with and play their music instead of bigger artists that may not be happy that I'm leveraging their music. But yeah.
It's fine. I mean, the cover band. Okay, I wondered why that thing sounded different. It was a cover band. Yeah. It did sound different. Wait, let me see if I can get this thing to play. It wasn't playing before, but I'm going to test it out right now live. Maybe it may play, it may not play. Let me show it in the stream in a little tiny window like this first, and let's see if this works. If it doesn't work, then it just doesn't work, and we're not going to play it. Let me see. Play it. Oh, it stopped. It doesn't. It kind of worked and it kind of stopped. But let me send people. This is Wistia, right? You're using Wistia to play these series of videos, yeah?
Yes, yeah, dude. Wistia just came out with this idea of like their series, their channels. It's called a channel, and they build this whole page for you based upon the content. So yeah, that's exactly what that is.
Okay, I'm full screening it so people can see it properly, but wait, they can still hear us. So this is like what? Just a page. This is the channel that you're talking about here. This is
it's just a channel, and it's got most of the episodes. I think I'm up to episode 23 now, so I need to upload the other ones.
23 or 24? I think 24.
Yeah, 23, 24, something like that. It's going to slow down because I'm only going to be doing 1 minute, one up on Mondays moving forward.
Right.
And it's going to be the new feel to it is going to be different, a lot of different scripts, but shorter, quick. And ultimately the mantra that I talk about with 1 minute, one ups moving forwards from here will be their mic drop moments. It's my attempt at viral content. And so in the kind of idea of inbound marketing, you've got, attraction content, conversion content, and delight content. And so 1 minute, one up is kind of that attempt at going viral and attracting more people to view my other value add contents series. So if you go look at my page on LinkedIn and you look at the top, I have a content schedule, a weekly content schedule that I put on there. Of the different series that I'm going to do Monday through Friday. And so Monday is going to be 1 minute, one up. That's my attempt at viral, trying to get attraction. And then Tactical Tuesdays will be very, tutorials, basically, how to do this in PowerPoint, how to do that in OBS. Mm-hmm. Wednesdays, I'm going to be doing office toys. So sort of some of this like product reviews, basically like this camera, here's a Stream Deck, here's some audio equipment, that type of feel. Thursday is going to be like an entrepreneur's journey journal, something like that. And that's going to be like my road rules, real world, video diary where I come in and just basically talk about a lesson from that week that I'd learned from being an entrepreneur and how I was going to adjust and giving like just a general update on Desk Rig and where we're at and what our goals are. So it's as much for me. That one's as much for me and accountability and being able to go back and see how the business evolved and having nostalgia on, remember that week, that was an awful week, or remember that week, it was an awesome week. And then Friday, I'm going to use that day as a show, start my own kind of show like this, a live show podcast. And I'm going to interview people who have gone through Desk Rig's boot camp that are, showing up, looking, all good. So it's a way for me to plug my customers. But I want to talk about specifically what we talked about in the beginning of the show, which is, hey, what's your passion? What keeps you awake at night? Right? That's the name of the show. Like, what keeps you awake at night? And so anyways, that was a long-winded answer to give you, my new video content strategy, but I knew it was going to come up anyways.
That's good. Video content strategy. That's good. That's good. It's good stuff. Let's say hello to the our people on the useful content community on LinkedIn. We have Keneal on. He's saying good. Well, it's good afternoon. It's still good morning in Jamaica where he's at. It's good afternoon here, and I figure it's good afternoon in Tennessee as well.
It is.
And Dana is jumping on saying #UCC Live. That's my useful content community. They come out strong on Thursday evening. Thursday evening is what I kind of define as the community show, and this is more of the conversation show. So the Thursday has all the fancy intros and all that drama, but the people from Thursday tend to drop in on Saturday too. Nice. So they're dropping in and saying hello.
Well, thank you all for coming. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Garren is so he's on today with us. Okay, so let me just show your LinkedIn profile at the bottom here. The link right at the bottom of the screen. If you want to go check Garren out on LinkedIn, you could probably go check him out and follow him. And if you're feeling ambitious, you could connect with him. I don't know how to connect anymore. Some people are saying leave a message. Some people are saying no message. People you decide what you want to do. But that's his LinkedIn page.
Yeah, reach out and say hello.
Yeah, reach out and say hello to him. And,
I like to make new friends. I can't. You can tell me if I'm crazy. If somebody can ask to connect with me, I don't go on a research mission to be like, do they belong in my network? Am I better than them? It's like, dude, hi, thanks for wanting to connect with me. Like, I don't get that whole concept of like, oh, somebody's spamming me in my inbox, or oh, I'm getting too many connection requests. Like, oh, lucky you. Connect with me, everybody in the audience.
Yeah. Everybody's listening, so you got permission. You've got permission to connect with Garren as go wild, right? So Dana is saying that she will go and follow. But you could connect as well, Dana. So she's saying that across here on LinkedIn, and so check Garren out across there. All right, good stuff. We're building community here, which is very, very, very good. So, all right. So you talk in your content as well. There's one. You're a family person, of course, right? 2 boys.
That's right. Wyatt and Boone.
Wyatt and Boone, right? Say hello to Wyatt and Boone, and of course Lindsay.
Yeah, that's right.
I Lindsay. So last time we spoke about, I put up a post about personal content and whether personal content should be included in your content cycle, and you clearly have made that choice, right? And particularly you talk about your family, and there's one thing I want to get to later on, not now, about a post you put up for your son. His son's birthday, and it was like 10 things.
Yeah.
So why is family important to you, and why do you think it's good to share that content?
I think people like to work with people they know, and I think that especially for me at least, it shows a different side of me. You know, you've got your brain and you've got your heart, and I don't think you're a full person unless you're communicating both things kind of together, and everybody's got their balance and what they're comfortable with. But you know, I'm a 50-50 type person, right? I like to bring all of me into the conversation, so you really know who you're working with, why you'd want to work with me, and it helps me attract the right people because I'm very heart driven in my efforts and my relationships, and so I really want to attract people who are also like that. And so I think that bringing up your family, talking about your values, being a little more personal, ultimately drives away the people who are turned off by that, which ultimately won't be good to work with me as much, at least I don't think. And so I'm really about real authenticity. You know, I think that everybody is a superhero. I genuinely believe that everyone has superpowers in their respective space, and you may have just not found those things yet. And I think that a lot of that comes back around to being afraid to share who you really are. And so for me, trying to get outside of the shame and the embarrassment of some of the things that may not be deemed cool by society or other people, you know, I really just want to be me and valued for the person that I actually am, so I don't have to pretend. And that really comes from me. I'm a terrible liar. so I just like go full bore forward with who I am. And that's really what it comes down to.
Yeah. Tennessee gentleman for real.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh man, you choke me up saying that, man. My mom's gonna watch this and be like, "Oh, my boy, I'm so proud of him."
It's good. It's great stuff. I'm big on family too, so I could relate to that. I got 2 girls, and yeah, and it's kind of like the same feel. I mean, I didn't really post them on social media, but when I get the chance, I kind of like post what they say, and I show some of the stuff that they do, and you know, yeah, I'm for that as well. You know,
There's a quote on my wall upstairs, and it says something to the effect of, you know, while we're trying to teach our kids about life, they're teaching us what life is all about.
Oh, that's cool, man. That's who's that from?
I'll have to send you that later. I'm sorry. It's one of those, you know, like decorations that your wife puts up in the house. But I look at it every day. I look at it every day. Anytime I'm angry with them for being, you know, a lot, you know, it's tough being a parent. And so I look at that every day, and it really does ground me in the fact that they're like children are the most precious thing in the world.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I'd love to hear more about your girls, and one day we can just have a video call and talk dad stuff.
Yeah, sure. Of course. Yeah. They're right now. We're preparing for school on Monday, and they have not changed their sleep cycle yet. I'm wondering what disasters are going to come on Monday when they have to get up. So we're going to see how that goes.
Hey, I wish you luck, brother. I'm with you. I'm with you on that.
Yeah. So, all right. So since we're going down that road, let's talk about that video that you made about the 10 things you wanted to share with your son for his birthday.
Yeah.
It's essentially fatherly knowledge, which I think was nice how you took those fatherly knowledge bits and you created, like, you know, things for life out of it that people could use in general. I have some favorites on that list. So let's talk about those favorites, and you can explain to me what you were thinking when you shared those favorites, right?
That sounds awesome.
So number 5 was work smarter, not harder, which, you know, we tend to hear often, but why did you feel that was important to say?
because you can spin your wheels a lot in life. I think a lot of people mistake effort for progress. And I think that it's really important to be mindful when you're putting in effort, especially like for me too, like in this entrepreneurship journey. You can work 20 hours in a day and then look back and be like, what did I do? What did I get done? And so I think it's really important as a father to communicate to my sons that your effort doesn't always equal progress. And so be smarter about the work you're putting in and being intentional about the goals the outcomes rather, that you're looking to achieve from that work, and not just, don't break your back to be a martyr, right? Like a work martyr, like, oh, look how hard I work. Look, that's really what that comes back to.
Yeah. Most definitely. So let's recognize Letitia in the house. Letitia, let's show Letitia here. She's saying, yeah, I see a lot of people in that hamster wheel in business. Letitia works hard, so she knows what it's about.
Yes.
And great to have you on for a little bit, Letitia. I appreciate that you jumping on. And,
Letitia.
I agree. And then we have Sugar. This is one of my. He went to what we call primary school here, what you call elementary school there. He said great words, man. So yeah, so it's good. And so Letitia saying preach Karen. It's saying preach Garren. Okay. Yeah.
Hey, stick around. I'll preach all day. I am from the South, So.
Yeah. So so I agree with that 100%. 100%. And that's great wisdom to share. All right, so let's so number 6. Let me move on to number 6 in the list. That's another one I like. You said brevity is the soul of wit, and you said if you can't explain something simply, you probably don't understand it yourself. And that's a thing I say a lot, but I'm not going to say what I say. I want to know why you said it.
So that's a Shakespeare quote from I think Hamlet. I'm looking this up real quick. Yeah, it's from Hamlet, but it's a Shakespeare quote. So I heard that myself, and that ultimately comes back around to. It's a lesson that I've learned when I talk about desk rig and somebody's like, tell me about your business. And then I'm like, I'm going on and on and on and on and on, and they don't get it. But when you explain something in less words, less is more, right? It's the same kind of thing. It ultimately comes back around to the more simply you can understand or you can explain something, the higher understanding you have of that topic. Because you don't need so many words to show, to explain to somebody, to communicate rather. I think that's a better way to say it. You can communicate something with less effort. And ultimately that is a sign that you have intelligence in a topic. But when you have to go in circles and over mountains and under hills and around tunnels and whatever it is, it's like, are you sure you get this too? Because it sounds like pretty complex from your explanation. So that's really what that's about is being able to understand that the more you know about something, the less you know about something. And the easier you can explain something, the higher level of understanding you have on that topic because you're able to communicate it succinctly.
Yeah. 100. Agreed 100. Letitia saying, yeah, right. Less is more. And Letitia, just so you know, whenever you're ready, you can jump on whenever you're ready. She wants to be a guest one of these days. Letitia's acting like she's not out there. You out there, Letitia. You out there. So we could talk about it. Yeah, I agree with that 100%. There's a way in which I kind of frame that. Okay, well, I'm not gonna talk about that because actually I was trying to get the thought and now I can't remember the thought. But yeah, I agree with that 100%. That when you increase your understanding, you need less to say it. So, you know what I was going to say? I was going to say that over a period of time, people have defined branding in all sorts of ways. And I've heard all sorts of different things. People are quoting Jeff Bezos. People are quoting Martin Neumeyer, who's pretty good, by the way, and all sorts of stuff. And my definition of branding is pretty simple, right? It is the things that people don't forget about you. That's it. That's it. That's it. You have a conversation with someone that you go away and they might forget your name. They might forget the actual conversations, but they say, he's articulate. I like that, and they just don't forget. They can't forget those things about you. So no matter how many times they talk about you, there's one thing that they might remember. That's what it is. And I found that to be a simple way to do it,
I'm gonna steal that. I'm gonna add that to my list. But I love the way you talk about branding. I think that especially personal branding, that's so true. It's ultimately what makes you what's sticky.
Yeah, what's sticky? Yeah. So like after when we're done with this, people are going to come away with something about you, and I'm going to come away with new things about you, and those things I won't forget. And it's like the things that I forget, it's fine. That's not your brand, because I don't forget. I don't remember those things. But the things I do remember, that's what's going to be Garren in my brain. You're going to live in there as that for whatever period of time until we meet again. You add to it some more. So and that's what I'm going to say about you. And vice versa, obviously.
I hope it's positive.
So you're doing well so far. You're doing well so far.
Well, should I stop on the head?
No. Continue. If you're getting a good trajectory, continue. That's not what I always say. Good trajectory needs continuance. I don't always say that. I just made that up, but it sounds good, so I'm going to stick with it. Good trajectory needs continuance. So, all right. So, the last one that I really, really like, and I have a story about this as well. Number 10, and the number 10 one was follow the rules until you know them. Follow the rules until you know them. Tell us about that one.
So, especially in sales. So I'll explain this the first time I learned this lesson. You at 18 years old are you figured the world out. You know it all when you're young and you're getting into, adulthood. And one of my first jobs during college over the summer was selling Cutco knives. Not sure if you're familiar with what the Cutco knife. It's it's basically like a college kids game. You call people, very network related, and so you have kitchen knives, and you call people, and you're like, "Hey, can I come to your house with my kitchen knives?" And they're like, "You want to come to my house with knives?" Like, no, I don't think so. So it's a hard barrier entry. The point here is that when I first heard the pitch, I thought, nobody's gonna let me in their house. I'm not gonna say those things that you have in your script. Okay, I'm not gonna say that. It makes me uncomfortable. I don't like the feeling that I feel like it's going to make them get of me. And my trainer was like, listen, like just follow just follow the rules. Just do this and you'll be successful. So after trying to put my own flavor on it and failing, I was like, okay, I'll do what you say. And all of a sudden it worked, right? Of course. And so the point here ultimately is, if you don't know something, if you're getting into something new and it's making you uncomfortable, that's not a bad thing, right? That just means you're not used to this thing and that you really need to follow the rules before you try to adjust or improve them in the ways that you're going to be able to with your unique creativity, which does matter, but it matters a lot less until you understand why the rules are in place, because somebody spent a lot of time trying to get those rules in place, that process in place to make you successful for very specific reasons. And then you come in with your infinite wisdom and you're like, nah, not going to do that. So that's really for me, what that one was about is I want my boys to not look at rules as authority.
Yes.
Look at rules as the bumpers on a bowling alley. Like they're trying to keep you in the lane. Like you don't want to be in the gutter. So that's really for me where that was derived from.
Right. They're trying to keep you in the lane. You don't want to be in the gutter because it's a protection system, essentially.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. And Letitia is going off on this one. She's saying like, right, Garren, that's right. And she's actually saying her husband used to sell those knives when they first met.
Nice. Yeah. I met my wife while selling Cutco knives.
You're not serious. No.
I mean, we didn't meet. I wasn't trying to sell her, but I did. Well, the day we had a date, I did try to sell her, but I met her.
No. Wait. That can't be true. Lindsay, that cannot be true. You didn't try to sell her knives when you went on a date.
No, so we came home and I was like, yeah, after dinner, and I was like, let's go hang out a little bit more. And we came back to the apartment, and I was like, hey, you want to see my kitchen knobs? You know, because I was still in college, right? I was still in college. Shout out GB3. I've always been a salesperson.
Oh
But
my goodness.
but no. So I was like, you want to see the pitch? And she was like, really? You know, because she already had a job, was already out of school, and had graduated and had owned a house and all this stuff. And I was like, you own a house, you need some kitchen knobs too, right?
All right. Well, it worked out. It worked out. So Letitia is really, really good. She's like she's like saying it was something about them nights he was selling that made me laugh. Okay, all right. I'm just saying what
It's
there
the
must some good
charisma.
night.
It's the charisma and passion, right? I mean that, and I'm not gonna lie, their sales training process is just,
Right.
it's next level. And I know a lot of companies have that figured out, but you can learn a lot working in a business like door-to-door selling or network marketing, or some of these really hard sales jobs. They takes raw materials and turns it into diamonds, basically. And that's really,
Yes.
honestly, is how I started my entire sales career, was through Cutco. And I will always give Cutco the benefit and the credit for getting me to the foundation to my sales career.
Yeah, great. One of those interesting stories. Well, that's content. That's things you could talk about, because you're gonna talk about personal things anyway. But that's like stuff you could throw up. Let me say hello to Garren. Now this is Garren with an I, not Garren. On LinkedIn, Garren Bulani, and he's saying he likes the setup, and he's liking the type of quality. There's the type of quality LinkedIn needs. Thank you so much for. It's just not just me. It's also Mr. Parkins. He's also rocking with the quality as well.
Garren's on my team.
Oh, that's Garren. Really?
Yep.
Oh, come on, man.
There's two Garrens on the same team. Listen, I know how crazy this sounds, but that actually happened. That's real.
It actually happened. Thank God for a different vowel. Otherwise, otherwise things might be really funny. I'm good, Gary. He's on LinkedIn jumping off, which is nice. And Letitia says she started in network marketing a long time ago, and it helped her to be comfortable talking to people. Yeah, and it's useful. If you have the chance to do some of those things when you're young, it really kind of teaches you how to do particular things, and then you take that into your career later on. Nothing is useless. You have experiences, and it compounds, it stacks.
Absolutely. And they're challenging. It's easy. Some things are easy to sell, but those network marketing things they have these specific processes that teach you, that really hit on people's psychology, and they're very specific, sales methodologies that they use. It's really interesting. You can really learn a lot. And so I'm 100% with Letitia and you, Juma. It's great experience for young professionals.
Yeah, that's excellent. And just to cap it off, let me just add my own take on the follow the rules until you know them. I had a driving instructor many years ago, and he was a good driving instructor. His name was Earl, and he would tell us. And we're in Trinidad and Tobago, and the time I was learning to do cars, many of the vehicles were stick. They were manual cars, right? Which was like a normal thing. People don't do them so much now, and that's like 20-something odd years ago. So people don't do that so much anymore now. And he was like teaching me how to do it, and I was kind of doing my own thing. And he was like, wait, hold on. And he said to me, learn how to do the right thing so you can do the wrong thing right.
Yeah.
And, and he told me that. I was like, as a 19-year-old, I'm like, cool. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna learn how to do the right thing so I can do the wrong thing. I mean, it was a little twisted, but it's like, yeah, it's true. You have to know, follow the rules, so that if you need to make adjustments and do your own thing, you kind of have a sense of what the foundation is like, and you can go off of that. So I understand what he meant. It's good driving instructor.
Do you still drive a stick?
I can, but I don't have one in the yard right now. So my friend, he and his wife only have stick. So I when I drive sometimes I use their car, I drive their vehicles, but I can, but I don't have one in the yard because my wife can't drive stick, so we can't have a stick vehicle.
My wife cannot drive stick either, but that's why I have a stick. So she doesn't want to
Oh,
drive
you do?
my car.
You,
Yeah, oh yeah.
you got stick, man? Oh, nice.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I
Oh.
learned how to drive on a stick. I genuinely believe that you feel more connected to the vehicle and to the road and the experience of being a driver when you're in control of the engine in that way, the gears in that way. You just have a more connected experience, and it keeps me from being on my phone. I mean, that's a kind of a good benefit, but I just enjoy driving a stick. You feel like you're in a race car, and you have control of it. I think that's fun. I think that's it's about the experience, and I'm big on experience.
Yeah. Oh, there's so many things. Oh, you're triggering so many thoughts in my head. So for me personally, I want even though it's not a big thing, I want my girls to learn how to drive stick.
Yeah.
And here's why. I've told them that any skill that you could learn in your youth pretty easily, that takes a little bit of effort, grab that skill. Many people are not driving stick. So what do you want to do? You want to actually learn how to do it, so that when you encounter a situation where that becomes relevant, it may not happen, but it may, and you could have a conversation about it like we're having now, or you could just know how to do it. Once there was a guy in a gas station and he literally said, "Hey, could you move this car for me?" And I looked at my friends and they said, "Well, we can't drive stick." And I'm like, "Okay, I'm going to move it for him and just move it forward a little bit." And that happened. So it was a big deal. And Dana's on LinkedIn. She's saying she drives stick as well. And so when she goes on to Central America, the car rental is cheaper. You see, there we go, economic benefits.
There you go. Absolutely. You said that, and it sparked a thought for me that I want to share as well. But I think that learning to ride a horse, interestingly enough, I think is one of those things that is sort of like a lost art that people really should learn how to do for a lot of reasons. But it actually happened to me. I grew up with my parents had horses, and I hated it. Like, I just hated cleaning the stalls. I hated weed eating the fields or the fence rows. And they just dumped so much energy in those horses and loved them like animals, like other children. Anyways, they made me learn how to ride horses. And a couple of years ago, I went on a corporate retreat with my last company, and they were like, "Let's go horseback riding." Right? Ooh. Everybody in the group, I don't think anybody in the group had ever really been on a horse.
Right.
And I got to go out there and look like a cowboy, with my Southern accent in Los Angeles on this horse. And the guys that were running the tour were impressed. They were like, "Oh, we don't normally get people who can ride horses," and I'm feeling all tough, "Oh yeah, I'm a cowboy," But I think just to your point, right? You learn things that are uncommon that not everybody are doing. And then when the moment comes, it really does differentiate you and give you an opportunity to shine in a really unique way. That is powerful. That's memorable to people. I think that's cool.
Most definitely. Why are you triggering so many stories in my mind? I have a story that I'm not allowed to tell about horses. Let me put it this way. The first time I rode a horse was on my honeymoon. That's the first time I rode a horse. Oh, if we ever link up offline, Garren, I'll ask for permission to tell this story because I have to get permission from the wife. And I'll probably, but it's a really interesting. If people out there, if I ever tell you the story, we're good. We're really, really good because it's not, it's like been walled off, it's been put in the safe and stuff like that. But it does involve a horse.
I would love to hear it. I would love to hear it.
It's an interesting thing. Anyway, where are we going? We're going off the rails with all this good conversation.
We just got done talking about that last post with my 10 lessons.
Oh, where we going? All right, people in the useful content community, this is what it's about. It's about building community, having conversation. You can learn about content creation as well in the midst of it. And we're learning so many different things about how you generate content. Take this live as an example of that as well. Don't let it pass. And Letitia is saying, so Letitia says she wants to connect. Jump on look at his LinkedIn page is right scrolling below there. Just check him out. Go connect with him on
please
on LinkedIn. Right, it's scrolling right below. It's been scrolling for a little bit. Hopefully you're seeing it. And she's saying, "Yeah, Garren is my kind of guy."
It's super flattering, Letitia. Thank you so much.
All the horse riding stories. Okay. Sorry. So let's get into some technical things. That was a good, nice little segment there. And let's get into some technical things.
Let's do it.
So okay. So you mentioned earlier, which is true. You use green screen, right? And it feels so bad going back to these things after such good stories. Anyway, and you use it really. It feels weird going back to these technical things after such good stories. It feels weird. It feels like can horses? Can you just asking? Can horses use AI? Come on, man. Anyway, okay. Let me settle down and get this back on track. So you use green screen. I know you use green screen because every single time you start the video, you pull it right down, right? And it's revealed. Or recently you changed your background to solid blue, right? Mm-hmm. Like a month ago or so, you changed your background to solid blue. What problem were you trying to solve when you started using green screen?
So that goes all the way back to when I started Desk Rig, the first Desk Rig. I didn't want anyone to know where I was at. I wanted to be anonymous. I wanted you to focus on nothing but what I'm saying and my message. So the green screen, I could be living in a $1 million house. You don't know. I could be living in I could be outside on top of a mountain. I can be anywhere in the world. The green screen is the new office door. It's the new office door. It really is, because you don't, it doesn't matter what room of the house you're in. It doesn't matter where you're at anymore. If you're using a green screen, you just, you can be wherever you want to be. You can have whatever you want behind you. It immerses you in the content. And so ultimately it's a tool that's just extremely powerful. That's really what kind of made me want to use one.
What is that? Is it called Web Around, the pop-up thing that you use?
Yeah.
Is that something that you recommend?
Yes. So Web Around is awesome for people who, maybe are traveling between the office and the home office and in a hotel room as a traveling salesperson. They're good for people who don't have the ability to mount a green screen on their ceiling. And they're good for people who are like trying to be budget friendly as well, because they do, they're low cost, under $100 USD, and they pop up. Just throw it on the back of the chair. When you're done with it, you can put it away and take it on the road or whatever else you need to do. So I highly recommend Web Around, and I'm not plugging them just because I have a partnership with those guys. Those folks, they're incredible individuals, and a fun company to work with. And I want to plug Linda, their CEO. She's a nurse, a frontline nurse. She started that business while being a full-time nurse. And I think that is, being an entrepreneur and knowing that somebody's out there working 2 full-time jobs, and 2 full-time jobs is demanding as being a nurse and an entrepreneur for a company like this. And it's just incredible. I think she's an incredible individual, and definitely somebody that should be, talked about. So I wanted to make sure we mention her, but awesome product. Anybody who's out there that doesn't have, the 150, 200 for a drop-down green screen or a floor-mounted one, or you fit some of those other criteria, like absolutely get you a Web Around. They're awesome.
What's the website?
It's thewebaround.com. The Web Around, WEB around.com.
Thewebaround.com. Let me see. Yep. I'm going to show that. I'm going to hide Garren's thing now. Thewebaround.com. So it's up on the screen there. So anybody who wants to go check the Web Around and get that, it's like a fold out kind of green screen that you mount to the back of your chair.
Yep.
Right. Yeah. And it's really, really functional. I saw you use it in some video. You kind of just flew out.
The busy dad. You should play the busy dad video. It's 37 seconds.
I wish I could play it. It's not, maybe, I don't know. I wanted to play so many videos of yours, but people just go to his the LinkedIn page and check it out. I want to play it, but for some reason it's not loading. LinkedIn doesn't like me today, and Wistia somehow doesn't like me today either. I really want to play some more of this content. Anyway, let's bring it in for landing, because we've been talking for almost an hour now. I don't know if you've realized.
Time flies when you're having fun, Juma.
Time flies when you're having fun. So what is your vision for Desk Rig?
I don't think we have enough time for that. No, I'm kidding. So my vision for Desk Rig is I would like us to help make virtual work ubiquitous and leverage virtual work to reinvigorate the middle class across the world. I believe I'm a rural kid. I grew up in East Tennessee. I'm from the mountains. I like, I like my clean air and my clean water and my vast sprawling woods and mountainous locations to go exploring. And I think that it's very soulful, a soulful experience to me to be out in rural America. And so I believe that people can decentralize from metropolitan areas because they're extremely expensive to live in. To areas that kind of in an osmosis way, and to areas that are less expensive with a higher quality of life and a lower cost of living. And so that's how I think virtual work can really boost the middle class and help people who are as well transitioning out of jobs that have been taken by automation. That's another big thing that's, it's taken a lot of rural jobs, and people are dispersing, and brain drain happens on small towns every year because the smartest, the best, the brightest leave to go to big cities where the jobs and the money are at. And so virtual work is that opportunity, I think, for us to change that paradigm. And I think to do that, we have to find a way to make working from home as, if not more effective than working in the office. And I think Desk Rig is an important component in doing that because it brings together a holistic solution. And I use this analogy a lot, but it's like buying a car. You don't buy wheels and an engine and tires all separately and assemble it yourself. You go buy a car. And I think that's the experience people need when buying a desk and the equipment necessary to work from home. And if they'll adopt these principles, they can make more money, spend less on living, and have a higher quality of life. And so that's the vision for Desk Rig, is to help make virtual work ubiquitous and help drive the reinvigoration of the middle class per se.
Yeah. See, I knew that. I knew that there was something bigger.
Yep.
I knew that from the way you spoke. So, and I like that. I think, well, I can't even say everyone should have that, but I'm saying everyone should have a clear sense of what they want to do beyond the business.
Right.
And that's why I was so clear that purpose is more important than passion, so that you have a clear purpose. You have a clear goal at reinvigorating the middle class and kind of reversing some of the issues that have been happening as a result of certain types of development. So development can be good, but it can also impact things in negative ways.
Right.
And you recognize that, and you're saying, having this business, I am the core of the business. Yes, I have to sell, I have to market, I have to do all that stuff. But really what we want to do is this. So let's just suppose you don't have Desk Rig anymore. You will still have that purpose. That will still be part of your purpose. You'll find a different way to do the same thing. And I think that is so key when we're thinking about business. So even the fact that you're saying that really confirms what I was thinking about earlier. It's excellent.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Excellent. Good stuff. Let me see if I could actually show the busy dad. It doesn't like me. It clearly doesn't like me. So
let me see. I may have it. I don't think I've uploaded it to Wistia, or I would just give you a Wistia link.
It's on LinkedIn for sure.
Yes.
Yeah. I looked at it this morning. That's how I know.
That
come on.
Was one of the funnest videos. That's by far the most fun I've had making a video for LinkedIn thus far. Right. I do have a Wistia link. Let me just send it to you here.
Let me see. I'm gonna get it. No, you can't share. Oh no. I don't think anything is playing for some reason. I think something is up with my internet. It's not liking me at all.
There's that link. It may let you play that one. It will play in incognito too. So
let me see. Okay, I'm gonna try to play it. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be successful. I'm gonna try to play it. Let me see. Let me hum while I'm doing this. So Wistia Desk Rig. Let's go. Let's share the audio. Let's share. Let's hope for the best. Right here. I mean, it's really short. So let me solo this, and let's hope for the best. Right. Let's play hopefully the best with it. No fault of Garren's, but let's see. It'll work. Is the music not playing? Oh no. It doesn't like me at all.
That's okay. Yeah, you know the music. I can even narrate it.
Can I jump forward? Oh no.
It's not going to.
Yeah,
play.
I think it's not you. I think something is wrong with this connection today. I need to go talk to my internet service providers.
Oh yeah, those ISPs, they're fun, huh?
It's very fun. It's sticking right here, right about here. It's giving me 7 seconds. And the important part, like you can see the new thumbnail right there. Look at this thumbnail. You can see the new thumbnails. Oh, it's right there.
There's the web around. So yeah, the Busy Dad series is a partnership between Web Around and Desk Rig, and we're going to be doing one of these per month, and it's really just designed, to show, a busy father doing busy dad stuff, playing with his kids, feeding them lunch, making them lunch, doing all the things, workbooks at home, all those kinds of fun things, and then realizing, and this is going to be the same. It's going to be the same story, just a different feel. But it's going to be an action sequence always. And I'm going to realize that I'm late. You're late. Dad, you're late to a meeting. And I've got like 60 seconds to get from dad mode to business mode. And between the Web Around green screen and the Desk Rig solution, it only takes me 60 seconds to show up looking like the most interesting man in the world.
Yeah. I saw that. That's fantastic, man. That's fantastic, man. So go check him out on LinkedIn. All the content that we can show you here, it's on LinkedIn, and some of it is on Wistia. Go track it down, people. And let me show you the website real quick. This is the website. Let me hide this. Okay, let me show this again and put it on solo right here. This is the website. If I can find the website, it's supposed to be here. Okay, here we go. I found it. Yeah, so go check out deskrig.com and it'll send you to different places that have good info. We have the social media at the bottom here and all that stuff. Excellent stuff. Did it start back playing?
I'm sorry?
What? Wait. Did it start? Oh, hold on. Where's it playing from? I'm hearing it playing. Is it playing on LinkedIn?
I don't hear it. It could be playing on your LinkedIn. Yeah, I don't hear it.
Oh, you don't hear it?
Mm-mm.
Okay, yeah, I'm definitely hearing it, like loud and clear.
I wanted to ask your feedback. The last thing, if you've got just another second, I actually want to ask your feedback on something here.
Sure.
Very specific too about content and on LinkedIn, even more specifically. If you look at, just pull up my very last video, and you'll see why. The one on authenticity.
Oh, I looked at it. I commented on that one, so I know what it is. Go ahead.
So, do you see my one-to-one video framing there? Like how I did that, how it's different. Like I feel like you look on LinkedIn and it's a lot of the same one-to-one aspect ratio videos, which I don't mind one-to-one aspect ratio. But I've been trying to reimagine the one-to-one aspect ratio, because I think that it needs some spice, it's a way to differentiate. And so I'm curious if you see that style a lot, and you have any thoughts on, it needing an evolution or why it does not.
Okay, so let me, I have to show the people this, because it's important for them to understand what you're seeing in order for us to think. Let me see. Let me try and close some of these other windows so I can show them the post, right? All right, so I want to do this right here. Let me do this. Let me try and show it, because I really want to show the people. All right, is it going to be this one? Let me share this one as well. It may not be.
Because I just recently updated this look, and it's going to be the new brand for a lot of the things. Yeah. Yeah. And so one thing to note when you're looking at it, and maybe you noticed it already, but the video looks like it's part of the UI. Like it's not like a split.
Oh, yes, it is.
I've wrapped it in white. You see how there's lines right there, all around the box. And then all of a sudden it's like, that's like
hearing
almost
about authentic.
Yeah. I see. It looks like it's part of the UI.
Yes. And so that was the idea, was to kind of like reimagine the space that they give you there, and think about how you could create an experience within that post object that would fit more visual congruency with the platform while still maintaining my brand as well. And so you'll see like at the bottom, I have that like that area where I'll change that call to action based upon the video. It's always about like, hey, like if you agree with this thing. And I can always change that up. And then at the top, I have my ability to show what series number, what series, what episode, and the script name, which I think is kind of fun as well. And so, I mean, I'm just curious if you think that that's like, does that stand out to you? Did I have to, me explaining it, that it's one of those things that if you have to explain it to people, it may not be as impactful as you would like to think that it is. So I'm curious about your feedback there.
Well, let me tell you. So I definitely know that I've seen this because I commented on it, but also I know that it's episode 24. That's how I knew it was episode 24 because I mentioned that earlier. So I noted that too. That's not the only thing I noted. And I also noted the change of what is the hashtag the same? I think something you switch that up sometimes. You do maybe, I'm not sure.
The 1 minute 1 up hashtag should be staying the same, I believe.
Should stay the same. Okay, great. All right. So I think it's great. I think it's fantastic. I haven't seen anybody do this. Of course, people have run ads that fit into the interface. But to see a video like this, it looks seamless. Look at the top here. It's like it's seamless. It just goes right in. Yeah. Only when you click on it, then you see where the bar is. But other than that, and of course the call to action below here, if you like, comment, or share if you agree. This is cool. I would say run with this. This is nice. This is better than what I'm doing.
So, man, your content's amazing. Like you've got an amazing vibe. As soon as I found you, I was like, oh, I feel like a brother. I was like, oh man, we're gonna jive. Like I knew we were gonna click on this call. Somebody asked me the other day, are you gonna prepare for that? I was like, no. I was like, this is gonna be so natural for us to have a conversation because I really do. I admire your work, and I want to say that. Because I think you deserve to hear it, but it's good. You have good work, and everybody's got a different vibe. One thing I definitely want to note about that as well is all of my videos. I have making content's hard. This. Everybody in your community knows this. Video content is very difficult, especially if you're not doing micro content. And I have yet to do micro content, and I need to do that. But every single video that I have, I've written, shot, and edited and published in 2 hours or less.
Oh, okay. Ooh.
And all right. It's because of the way we the desk rig build. And I'm plugging my business a little bit here. Sorry. But that's another one of the value propositions that we also offer content creators is like, hey, we know how hard it is to make video. And with desk rig, when I shoot these, they're all done in one take. You'll never see a cut in my videos because I literally pressed record. I pulled the green screen down. I kicked the intro, and then I went in on the speech. And then as soon as it was done, I hit the outro on my Stream Deck through OBS. It's not rocket science, but you can use the tool ultimately to increase your velocity of creating content. And I think that a lot of people would be able to make more content if they could reduce the friction of of post-production. The cost of post-production is a lot too. And so that's another thing that I, just wanted to note as we're here talking about content and that video specifically was that it was made in 2 minutes, and I published it right after obviously a few takes and writing and all those other good things that go into it.
Yeah, there are many questions I wanted to ask you about. Well, I was going to ask you about writing your script on the same day as the video, but I don't want to get into that because that's going to spark a whole other conversation. But definitely, I think that friction thing is so important. And I made a video about that, like removing and reducing the things that called friction in your content creation process, whether that's pre, during, or post, whatever it is. You just try to simplify the process. That's why I record all my videos on Zoom, because I don't have to go and set up audio. I don't have to stick a card in. I don't have to download anything. It records it. It spits out the file, and I could just slap the captions on it. It's already kind of templated, and and makes it easier. The less friction you have, the more content you're going to create.
100%.
So and that desk rig setup, like my setup is kind of like I have experience with this, so it's kind of big, but maybe a desk rig will be ideal for a lot of people. Because I've seen it. It looks it looks amazing, and like how it's set up with the lights and the whole thing. And also I note that you have a standing desk.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. You're standing, so you're standing up for the last hour talking to me.
Yep. I stand all day. It keeps me more at attention. I feel more healthy as a result of doing it. And so I'm able to keep a better posture, which helps my neck and my back. I have some old snowboarding injuries that I'm always nursing. So when I'm at a desk hunched over, at the end of the day, my neck will hurt. So when I stand, I get to be at attention. And I've found that a lot of people also appreciate that attention. They feel like they're getting more from me, I think. So anyways.
Yeah. I noted that too, because you literally walk in and you don't. It's not like you cut and then you sit down or something like that. It's like, All right, great stuff, Garren. It's so nice speaking with you today. It went so well. We're gonna have to talk again at some point. Maybe come on Thursday and vibe with the community a little bit more. Thank you, Dana and Micaiah, who jumped in on LinkedIn. Micaiah didn't see you. I always hail on Micaiah. Those are faithful members of the Useful Content community. They've just jumped in on LinkedIn and dropping the bulbs, because we throw the bulbs up for people, so they're throwing up bulbs for you across on LinkedIn side, and of course they're dropping their hashtag UCC Live, which we appreciate as well. The community is growing and they're great. I have a really excellent community. They do very well. I have to kind of find some other stuff for people to do if they want to contribute more. But it's so great having you today, and thanks so much. We didn't get through. I don't think I got to ask you everything, but there are so many other things that was said that is so valuable that, and we talked about the kids and about life.
It was fantastic. It was an absolute honor. And I hope that, you feel the way I do, but I feel like I made a friend today. And
most def. We frequencies are matching, so which is good.
100%. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you to the community out there for being here today and showing so much love and being engaging in the conversation. So I look forward to being invited back as soon as you need somebody to fill a spot.
Most definitely. We're bringing the season to an end in a few weeks. The community doesn't know this yet, but I'm just going to tell them that. And we're going to start back up next year with a new season. And we'll structure everything. So awesome. Don't worry, you'll be getting another invitation from me.
Fantastic. That sounds wonderful.
Great stuff. All right. Thanks everyone for jumping on today on the Useful Content Creation Show Saturday edition. I appreciate you all, and I'll see you all during the week. See you all on the platform, and let's say thank you to Garren, and bye-bye.